Once I did not feel like I were in a rush, and time was not something I gave a dominant position in my life. One could say that I was free. On a night not so long ago, I awoke from sleep and lay quiet-minded looking up at the ceiling. There within that moment I felt peace. The room seemed the same as any other night around that time. It was dark, the blinds were closed, the street lights glowed dimly through the white shades. On this particular night there was no noise in the mind. Lust thoughts did not beckon me. War was not seeking to displeasure my quiet space. Worries of the coming work days, governing issues, border problems, viruses, nor what someone may have said, whether in the vicinity or broadcast over radio, TV, or video, had no way to bother me. Those were the distractions that would otherwise pull my heart away from a quiet mind in any other moment of any other day. For some reason my mind was as quiet as a hollow reed. It was magnificent. It was the best kind of moment I had ever experienced. Trying to remember back to a time in my childhood when this kind of experience was natural and frequently as every day at some point. A time when news broadcasts meant nothing to me, without knowledge of viruses or war nor suffering. I cannot recall whether my mind was quiet or not. What I do know is that without knowledge of the pains of this world, I must have been much more peaceful in my heart. These days I find myself in a toil of chatter within my mind. Within this mind clutter, there is not room for peace. The chatter bounces around and makes it seem like the mind has a wall. Does the mind really have a wall? With all the thoughts of pain that come from the knowledge of this world, there is made there an atmosphere that holds them all in, bouncing around and coming up as chatter. Does the solar system have a wall around it? Is there a wall around the galaxy? In outer space, walls do not make sense. Walls are only walls from a floor or a ground up to a certain height or a ceiling. Like the universe has no wall and expands in every direction, the mind is without the limits of a barrier as well. So why do people let the chatter of the world bounce around within their mind as though there were barriers that made it so? That these barriers would seize our expansion beyond the chatter of what is knowledge fed to our living mind. Looking back to a long ago world, knowledge came from thought. People thought, and in thinking, they solved all kinds of problems that were posed to them. We have this ability to think for ourselves, to take our own advice that comes from our heart. We are told to be in a program, and to follow the program will bring us peace. Yes, the room is dark, the shades are closed, and the room is quiet, but in the mind the chatter bounces around. Dreams are strange, and sleep is shallow. Our own deep thoughts are what expand us and free our thinking. Our minds are not made to be encased inside the skull. Our skull protects our brain well, but our mind goes beyond the crest of our crown. The mind can go as far as we allow it to go. Do we need a teacher to expand our mind? Do we need a drug or an herb or a fungus to open our mind? Do we need a video or a news broadcast to expand our mind? Or a book or a psychologist? No. We have all that we need to expand our mind. When we remove the chatter by letting it no longer bounce or reverberate, our thoughts will take us where we need to go.